Weird. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we're up. Give me 1 second, and I'll make it work. I just will. Hi, everybody. How are you? Let's see. Okay, that works. All right, there we go. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. There's definitely a beach ball spin that happens on this software that does not happen. It just does not happen on the other ones. Hold on, everyone. Hey, how are you? There it is. I'm up. I can't believe it. How are you guys doing? Couple of things, adorable things. I don't know if you guys have caught or had a chance to catch or even have any desire to catch after our unusually Rudy-filled day yesterday. His first appearance in court since 1992, when he was still, I suppose, chilling for, I mean, I'm not quite sure what his job was pre-mayor, really. I mean, at this point, do we really trust he was doing what he was saying he was doing? Does any of this sound right? That he was actually trying to fight crime and do all that kind of stuff? Or was he just running interference for a different mob group? I'm just saying, the whole thing is, you know, it fills me with enthusiasms. So he was in Pennsylvania court today. I don't know if you've seen this, but so when you do, I got a low frame rate. Oh, that's terrible. Why would that be? Let me check my regular thing. Mic is tinny. Is it picking up the wrong one? It very well may. Let's see. Am I far away? Far away. All right. Which mic is it allowed? Because it's the same one as yesterday. I just don't trust all this nonsense, you know. It's a bit frustrating, don't you know, trying to deal with this until they update the software I'm used to working with. I'm very small on screen as well. I don't know why I shrunk in the last little bit. What are you doing? What's all this about? Right, take this fella, make him a little larger in screen, don't you know? There we go. Try this. Whoop. Hello. Little better. Little bit by bit, don't you know? Yeah, the frame rate usage of this should be, that's fairly smooth on Restream. So I don't know, key frame rate frames per second is 26. I mean, that's fairly solid. 1920 by 1080. We're at 4,000 bit rate. I don't know how much I can mess around with this. I mean, I'm sure I'm a bit wonky here and there if I deke and doodle around with it. Oh, thank you. Again, one of these days, a producer so that we can check sound beforehand. What a novel concept. But that's, you know, by the way, in case you're wondering what those things are and what they result in, is largely just the ability to have a second person check tech or operate tech aside from the host themselves. But I don't mind being the Wolfman Jack of internet Vladicastness, I suppose. Hey man, we're gonna come down there and get ready to see some Rudy Giuliani. I will tell you what now. All day long, Giuliani has been in court for the first time. He lied right out of the gate. If some of you have been following me on Twitter, you know that Rudy Giuliani lied to the court this morning in his little, I want to be in on this proceeding, I insist, Your Honor. Well, here, let's see. Yeah, look at that. I love when people repeat what I've said a couple hours later and recognize that it's true. Let me see if this will switch over to this other viewer right here. Yeah, there it is. So this is on Twitter. Andrew Feinberg. In other news, it appears Rudy Giuliani committed perjury in his pro-hack petition to appear in Pennsylvania court today. He is suspended from the D.C. bar for non-payment of dues. But he says, there you go. He says, I'm a member in good standing of all these courts. She said to the court under penalty of perjury, oh, thank you so much for the Ben Moses. Oh, do I even have that graphic up? Oh, and good God. By the way, we're back to the days when I hear a really loud alert in my ears, but you guys don't hear it because I managed to turn it off on your end. Holy hell. It's just, yeah. It's madness is what it is. But I don't know how to deal with it other than, let's see, audio's in here. I'll turn the audio of it down, maybe, perhaps. Are we hearing it? Are we hearing it? No, it's not even letting me. That's weird. I'll figure it out. But yeah, so this little bit right here kind of matters. when you say, I'm currently a member in good standing of all these courts, and you're not. Kind of weird, kind of a weird foot to get off on with the judge and with the court at that point. They have been handicapping the like Giuliani stuff day to day. Let me see if I can find the oh, and they lost. There you go. So, I mean, I guess this is the crucial part. Trump and his allies have just lost their 25th court case, this time in the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. They're now 1 for 25. So that's the end of that. Well, that was Rudy's first day back into the fray, and by God, there he was. Just and we shall see. Let me see. Oh shit. That's a quote for the ages. Update from the U.S. District Court in Williamsport, PA. One of the Trump's campaign's last stands. I'm not sure what opacity means. It probably means you can see. Judge Brand. It means you can't. They were dealing with the phrase opaque, I'm guessing. Jesus. There's a ton of this, by the way. Let's see. Okay, so this has been the breakdown, one of the breakdowns all day, where they went through this. And basically, if you watched yesterday's show, you know exactly what Rudy Giuliani said in court, including hoo-hoo at some point. Hoo-hoo. And I'm curious what the next vlog will be. So this is what they're trying to do is block the certification of the vote so that they cannot certify Biden's electoral win in Pennsylvania. They have to win here in the Supreme Court, or they're done. They have similarly lost because there was the recount in and audit in Georgia led to 1,600 more votes added to 800 votes added. For Trump. And so Georgia will be certified tomorrow as a Biden win, as will Pennsylvania. That's locked in now. They were live tweeting this. This is the amazing part. There are 3,999 people on the line. There's a 4,000 person maximum. And they say all rise. It's a Zoom call, and it's all digitally done. Rudy stands up and says, I represent the plaintiffs in this case, asking to be admitted pro hac vice for this occasion. Judge said that's done. Parade of lawyers, tons of people. This is the amended complaint has removed several counts from the plaintiff's original complaint. So they remember that whole thing, like reams of evidence. Oh, there's so many reams that we've been reaming evidence for as long as we can remember. They threw out a shit ton of it. They're not even fighting on it anymore. But Rudy came in to fight the last stand of this one piece, which is trying to stop getting the certification through. So Rudy Giuliani is first up for the plaintiffs. May it please the court, he begins. By the way, spoiler alert, it doesn't. Giuliani alleges widespread national voter fraud. There's no evidence of it. He says this is one of those situations that you do not let a serious crisis go to waste, which is, I think, a reference to Rahm Emanuel, and saying that Rahm Emanuel, like, because there's a pandemic, we can use that to defraud the voters. That's in reference to that. Giuliani calls mail-in ballots a threat of voter fraud. We've seen this. We now have an opportunity to hold back votes and produce votes over an election to make up a deficit. That's the one where he was saying these votes came in out of nowhere. Remember that? Okay, there's no evidence of this. He just said it again, though, in court. They, and of course, votes were counted after Election Day. They were not held back. And by the way, they weren't cast after Election Day. They were just counted after Election Day. Giuliani claims inspectors weren't allowed to observe the ballot counting. They were. His other attorneys have already conceded that fact. In Pennsylvania, they dumped it. Giuliani claims this alleged conspiracy is happening in big cities controlled by Democrats. Wink, wink, black people. You'd have to be a fool to think this is an accident. So that's a good way to start. Challenge the wisdom and integrity of the judge and call him a fool if he disagrees with your argument. Side note, in the original complaint, which was significantly pared down, Trump's campaign alleged suspected incidents of voter fraud in 2 Republican counties. The campaign did not sue those counties, only the blue counties, which is really weird. Giuliani moves on to a separate complaint about the ability to cure errors on mail-in ballots. He says that some counties allowed ability to cure defects and others did not. That's what I talked about on Stuttering John's podcast today. That's what I was talking about with you guys. They keep running this idea. Where's my chat? Where'd it go? There it is. Hello, Restream chat. Yeah, 1 to 25. And the one was just, and they're not, because they don't even count the ones where Alito technically sided with them, but it was already being done, so it's not a win. One, I guess the main one is they got to go 6 feet. The poll watchers got to go closer in one of the areas. Scourge, right. A separate GOP challenge against counties that allowed mail-in voters to cure defective ballots did not go well. Judge Savage shredded it. He was quite savage. This was the idea, again, that they are claiming that since blue districts bothered to cure ballots like they're supposed to by law and red districts did not, that the people in red districts are being denied a right, and therefore the right should be removed from the blue districts, which is never done in law. I mean, I'm sure there's some old West thing. Well, they don't hang people for murder over there. We want to make murder legal over here. It's just pitiful. Okay, Giuliani. I believe we're going to prove it. Psst, he doesn't. Compare Rudy Giuliani's argument in Pennsylvania to another Trump campaign lawyers in Arizona. This is not a fraud case. This is, he's basically doing the monologues we've seen. Giuliani invokes the specter of a stolen election, a claim expressly disclaimed by Trump's lawyers in Arizona, which is, by the way, why Trump put him as point person in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has 20 electoral votes. They need this because they're not getting any of the other ones, and it would just pull it to a draw. It's so goofy. Giuliani rants about Philadelphia, describing it as corrupt and a grand corrupt area conspiracy theory of mass fraud with no specifics. This doesn't happen in an honest place. This is an outrage, Your Honor, to do this to people. Rudy then alleges 1.5 million illegal votes. And by the way, Adam says he doesn't explain how he arrived at that number. We all know how he arrived at that number. What they do is they extrapolate 5 instances where they think the guy saw 5 ballots, or he heard 5 ballots being called for Biden. So in effect, every vote he heard, since he heard no others, were all called for Biden. So therefore, all 100,000 in that batch were for Biden, because he didn't hear anyone call one for Trump verbally, which he says he viewed, but he didn't view because he couldn't view. That's another thing entirely. But that if it's the 100,000 are like that, then we have to assume that every vote in Philadelphia is suspect on the same level. And if we're assuming they are, then Pittsburgh and Erie, any of the are automatically suspect as well. That's how they get to 1.5 million. Just layer upon layer upon layer. This is my favorite one. Rudy Giuliani submits an exhibit that he describes as someone using binoculars to observe the process. A defense counsel asks him to represent as an officer of the court that an exhibit is from Philadelphia County. Giuliani says, I was told that. That in and of Peter, my Wolfman Jack sounded like Matthew McConaughey doing Wolfman Jack. It's a good point. Point taken. I can hear, yeah, Biden. All I heard was Biden. They must all be for Biden. That's how it works. I was told that. Get the fuck out of here. Giuliani says he'll correct himself if he learns otherwise. Psst, he doesn't. Giuliani's co-counsel declines to add anything. I mean, really. I mean, you both got shovels. Why not keep digging? Up next is Daniel Donovan, representing the Pennsylvania Secretary of the Commonwealth of the powerhouse firm of Kirkland and Ellis. Secretary of Commonwealth Kathy Bookhal is working hard to meet the fast approaching deadline to certify the vote. Donovan says, I mean, the fact that, it just brings to Ray Donovan, yeah. Counsel on the side of the aisle focused on allegations that aren't in the complaint. The shit you have to do in court. Put another way, Giuliani's freewheeling opening statement bore little semblance to their actual lawsuit. Donovan dictates his opening statement to a far less flashy rebuttal to what their lawsuit says, not what Giuliani declaimed. There is no claim in the complaint that any Pennsylvania voter cast more than one ballot. Donovan, there's nothing unequal about the ability to cast a vote in this case. He boils down their actual argument to a claim that a tiny number of ballots were counted and shouldn't have been, therefore all of them should be thrown out. He calls the claim un-American, which it is. Donovan moves on to the issue of standing. Federal courts have immense power but limited jurisdiction, he notes. Donovan, the plaintiffs fail to assert particularized concrete injuries under the law, meaning they have no standing to argue this because they have no basis to argue in the first place. Donovan delves deeply into standing. Into standing requirements, i.e. the right to sue. Lawyers hoping to win a case rather than using the federal judiciary to get out their PR messaging must focus on legal issues like this, right? The plaintiffs don't actually allege vote denial. If the plaintiff wanted to allege that, they would have sued Fayette and Lancaster County. They didn't. That's the red counties we were talking about earlier. Christ. Ugh. Context, Fayette went for Trump 34, Lancaster went for Trump by 16. By the way, both those counties would go down if you cured the ballots, which I was talking about. They'd be much more narrow margins. The extra votes would largely go to Biden because they would be mail-in votes. Donovan referring to the plaintiff's case as it's just speculation. Turning to the unequal protection claims, Donovan has one final word on his argument that plaintiffs have proven a right to sue. On standing, I think that's the place to stop. And then the line went dead. And then they're back after a little bit. Shortly before today's hearing, the AP was denied physical entry into the courtroom because of COVID-19, so tech issues could effectively amount to a courtroom closure. Because they're allowed to be there, but they're not allowed to be there in person. So if the AP, which has a right to be there but can't go in physically, if the line goes down, the AP could argue that the court is supposed to be open and therefore it's open. And there you go. So the court is aware of a telephone problem, and AT&T is the custodian of the call. We're working feverishly to restore access. Lovely. White noise, they got back. Judge, we had telephone lines go down for reasons I don't understand. Everybody's back online. Mark A. Aronchik, counsel for the Allegheny County Board of Elections, is now up on a static fill line. He calls Rudy Giuliani, quote, really inventive. It's just really... Yeah, the buzz sounds like a glitch. Yeah, this is super good. Because it just gets worse, by the way. Aronchik says the picture that Giuliani is waving around today are irrelevant because the Supreme Court's opinion, which he says does not believe, does not believe Giuliani read. So Giuliani's reference to yesterday what he said about Alito's ruling, he goes, Alito said this. I disagreed with him because I was like, that's not what it actually says. It wasn't even a win. It was just an agreement. And in this one, this guy's like, yeah, he didn't even read the shit. Arancha, Mr. Giuliani is talking about another case, not the case before Your Honor. Right. Another state. Remember yesterday I was like, he's like, today we're going to focus on Michigan. I was like, bullshit you are. This asshole's going to, aw, thank you, Natalie. Okay, deal. This asshole, he couldn't even stay focused on his own little vlog on one state, and he had his little papers in front of him. It's why they removed some of the sheets in front of him, I think, just so he would stick to Michigan for one friggin' thing, and he didn't. Thank you guys for the super chats today. Thanks for joining me, by the way. Hello and welcome, and glad you're here. I feel like I hit the ground running right away, and I forget to do my welcome to the show boilerplate. Thank you to our patrons for supporting us. It's amazing. You're why we're growing, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. And everybody who can super chat on is back on YouTube. If Natalie's flexing didn't show you that. And of course, Twitch, you can become a subscriber on Twitch if you are an Amazon Prime member. If you use Amazon Prime, doesn't cost you a dime. All right. Okay, now back to our story. I've got to get better at that shit, guys. Okay, if some counties do a poorer job of ballot access, Aaron Chick says, we don't race to the bottom now. Which, by the way, it's very reassuring that the cases I've been making as a non-lawyer on my stream talking about this shit that did not come up in a bunch of other arguments. I have yet to see anyone on MSNBC and CNN, and especially on Fox, make this point that the race to the bottom thing that they are shooting for in all of these cases, which is if Republicans deny a right intentionally to a group of people, that right should be denied to all people, not that they should be fined or sanctioned for removing the right of a group of people. They believe that if they nullify a right, it nullifies the right on a federal level. And I seriously, like I know the lawyer types around know this stuff or whatever, and maybe it's so normal to them that they don't bring it up or whatever. But this is incredibly crucial. That on top of, and Lindsey Graham's argument, which some of you may have heard, which was he contacted the Secretary of State in Georgia and asked him basically to throw out a bunch of legal votes. What he was asking is how many can you throw out before the whole thing gets thrown out? How do we get to that number? And if we can start throwing out a few more, we can go, well, we had to throw out 35,000. That might as well be 100. And if it's 100, yeah. And by the way, sonically, am I okay? What's happening? Is it buzzy and awful? What's happening? Is it terrible? Yeah, Lindsey is garbage and is un-American and undemocratic. Notice a lot of Wi-Fi interference is huge. Okay, thank you. When people start talking about like buzzing and stuff like that, I was like, is that me or is that talking about the story we're talking about? Not bad, an occasional buzz. I see. Curious. What could that possibly be? No problem, Danny. Welcome. Let's see if I can bring this down. Perhaps, maybe it's just a sonic thing. I'm still working out the audio quality on this software that I'm using, so I apologize if it's not 100. If it's not 100. So, all right. We don't race to the bottom now. This is what I've been arguing this whole time. And like I said, all the red Pennsylvania districts in Pennsylvania are not curing ballots, so they want none of the ballots in the blue districts to be cured, even though the law is you get a chance to cure your ballot. Ass. Hola mio. Oh, there definitely is a fan humming. Maybe, hold on. Maybe the trick is, see if this receiver does this. Turn this down. Whoa. Sorry if it clicked. Now we'll see on this one. And I'm going to turn decibels is down on this thing. Yeah, that's a little better. Sorry if there was any clicking, I apologize, but there we go. All right, it'll take a second for you guys to, for it to work. All right, so there, that, now, I did not catch the cricket. I think he receded back into the thing. Oh my God, the antenna coming out of that thing was huge. Way better now, but low. Okay, good. Well, I can bring it up in this end, and that will bring it up on that end, and that should be, hey, all right, not as much white noise. All right, there we go. And I think that should bring the audio up a little bit. In theory, dearie. Okay, excellent. Yay. Okay, so now, Aronchik, I believe we have an actual complaint in front of us, not the freewheeling riff that Giuliani gave. This is just disgraceful, Aronchik says of Giuliani's riff. Aronchik calls Giuliani's rant unbecoming of a U.S. federal courtroom. Aronchik on the Trump campaign. Now, oh, there we go. Was it? Oh my goodness, it's loud and seemingly quite clear. I can't imagine why there's an issue. Hello? Check it 1, check it 2, check it 3, check it 4. I gotta say this is a Wirecast issue because it's freaking everything out. It's just being a jerk. This is madness. Yeah. Deleted. Wirecast, what's your problem? Seriously. And Streamlabs, get your shit together. What's happening? It's madness. I'm having fun though, playing around with the software. Does it sound better, at least clear? Yeah. Buffering, all kinds of stuff. The cricket is clearly crawled into my computer and died. Woo. Yes. Patrons, help me solve my software issues. Join today, please. In the arms of an angel, there's a broken lavalier. Okay. Oh my God, is that your actual voice? Yes, it is. I think so. And yes, that was me singing. Is that what you're talking about? I don't understand. I'm trying to get it working, but it can't possibly work. Okay, here we go. Aaron Chick compares the Rudy Giuliani of today to the Jill Stein of 2016. Zing! Yes, I'm on the new Mac OS, and a lot of the software is being a little wonky for a day and a half. I shouldn't have done the update. I should have waited. I know they can't back out of it. Yep, there we go. So, I'm drinking yerba mate. Okay, Aranchik to Judge Brand. Dismiss this case, please, so we can move on. Can we get the fuck out of here, please? What are we doing here? Like, this is such a big dismiss this case, please, so we can move on. He knows the case has turned, for some reason, into some sort of lifeline for the Trump campaign. We need to move on. We need to get this election certified. Brand calls for a 10-minute recess. We're back. Elizabeth Dupuis is up for Center County Board of Elections. Center County did nothing wrong. Center County's count was live streamed on the web. She notes the complaint points to an unidentified voter requesting a provisional ballot. The plaintiff's campaign team was present the entire time and raised no objections to the process. The DNC's lawyer, Uzoma Nkwanta from Perkins Coie, is up. He reiterates a point made earlier by the counties that Trump's co-plaintiffs sued the wrong counties. They're from Trump-backing Fayette and Lancaster counties. They sued 7 blue counties alleging vote denial, which is the denial of removal of stuff. Oh, wow, Debbie. Well, they done good in Center County. Nkwanta addresses Giuliani's voter fraud allegations. He notes that other Trump campaign attorneys expressly disavowed these claims. Yeah, it's a little rough when the defense in these cases has read the complaints, the rulings, and the cases put forth by your fellow lawyers, and you haven't. Jesus. And Quanta says that what the plaintiffs take issue with is not the counting of the ballots, but the voters' choices. Judge Brand gets to his question. You're asking this court to invalidate 6.8 million votes. Can you tell me how this result can possibly be justified? Giuliani's line was barely audible in his initial answer. Eventually, he audibly calls the alleged conduct egregious. We're not asking for the entire vote to be canceled, he says, before seemingly asking yet again for precisely that. Giuliani claims that the scope of the requested remedy is because the scope of the alleged violation. Giuliani, those 2 men lost their right to vote, referring to his individual clients who are residents of Fayette and Lancaster, whom he did not sue. So the 2 people in the actual court papers are from 2 counties, and on their behalf, probably because their ballots were not cured, those guys ended up, they're clamoring to sue blue counties so that other people's votes get thrown out. Again, race to the bottom. This is so nuts. Giuliani says his clients' counties did nothing wrong. Another federal judge rejected the notion that the counties did anything wrong either. Giuliani refers to the man who was really angry with me, apparently referring to Aronchik. Mr. Donovan for Pennsylvania Secretary of Commonwealth. I think Mr. Giuliani could be more aggrieved because he deleted his due process claim. I know that Mr. Giuliani wants to talk about his canvass, which is not in his complaint. Judge Brand, in the amendment complaint, you repeatedly cite the dangers of voter fraud, but neither count of your complaint seeks relief for voter fraud. So it's correct to say... Jesus. Hi, Real Hill. All right. So it's correct to say you're not alleging fraud in your amended complaint. Giuliani says no, he is alleging that. Judge Brand asks why you should consider claims that were deleted and taken out of the action. That's what I'm bound to. The complaint's been amended. Do we agree? Giuliani says certainly with a chuckle. Woohoo! Judge Brand turns to the new theory of standing. In the amendment complaint, you said your clients tried to vote in Lancaster and Fayette County. So why didn't you just sue the counties that are responsible for your clients' injuries? Linda Ann Kearns answers that one, claiming that equal protection issues transcend state law. The argument is that the other counties' efforts to expand ballot access harm those that don't, a notion that other attorneys describe as a race to the bottom, which is exactly what I said. For Christ's sake. This is exactly what I was talking about. Because red counties don't cure ballots in violation of the law, then blue counties should equally violate the law and disenfranchise as many voters as were disenfranchised in these two counties, which are Checks Watch 2. Judge Brand, why is Secretary Bookvar here? He notes that her actions have nothing to do with their clients' votes, but they sued her. What is the question? What is the injury? Kearns, Trump camp attorney, of the voters or the campaign? The campaign. Kearns alleged because they're on behalf of the campaign. But Rudy Giuliani is claiming that he is there on behalf of these individual voters. Kearns alleges that if everyone had a chance to cure defective ballots, the results could have been very, very different. Everybody did. The red counties... all right. Seriously. Biden has a 70,000 vote lead, and the Trump campaign is saying that they could have caught up if only mail-in voters with whom Biden performed well had been allowed to cure their defective ballots. That's the claim. That's the bullshit. This is ridiculous. And this is exactly what I was talking about. And thank you for the thumbs up, guys. I saw that. I appreciate that. Seriously. What they want to do is let Republican county officials deny voters' rights and then force that denial of rights on everyone else. And yet not sue the groups that denied them rights. This is the stupidest. Honestly, this is just embarrassingly dumb. Judge Brand asks whether the Trump campaign is raising any other theories of standing. Giuliani recites his previously cited theory of standing. Judge Brand, what standard of review should I apply in this case and why? Giuliani says, the normal one. Are you arguing that strict scrutiny should apply? Giuliani says normal scrutiny should apply. Brand, how does it make it easy for some people to vote how does making it easy for some people to vote burden the plaintiff's right to vote? Yeah! Christ. And here's the thing. If you are insane enough to support Trump and think he has a shot here, you should be incredibly outraged that your ubermensch dear leader has hired a feckless dumbass to flail about in federal court, yapping about shit that he puts out on YouTube and pretending it's a legal argument. This in and of itself is just batshit. What is normal scrutiny? Normal scrutiny is it never makes it to court. Okay. Judge Brand tells the plaintiffs that they need a new motion for an injunction since they have a different amended complaint. You should write this down. That's what lawyers do. They write things down. Brand notes the plaintiffs want to file a second amended complaint. They would have to file a motion requesting the right to file that, the judge notes. Jesus. There is no longer a need for an evidentiary hearing, Judge Brand says. Yeah, he's done. There is no longer a need for an evidentiary hearing. Like, basically, this is the judge saying, this is a frigging waste of time. Oh my God, that's so good. We are all stupider for having read this. I know. This is so... It's good though. This is so fun. Okay, so hold on one second. Let me do one thing. There is... Hi. There should be... What should there be? We're missing something in this. Something's missing for me in this shot. I'm so used to the other shots that we actually have. So the final ruling came in, and we'll just take a look at the paperwork on this one. Did they actual... yeah, and there is absolutely, by the way, a case for disbarment against Rudy Giuliani in this. Let's see. I'll just do a search for Rudy. Because this is, Rudy just told a judge he doesn't know what opacity means. We just saw this. So Andrew Feinberg is also live tweeting. Oh God, is also live tweeting this, and hold on, let me bring this up. This is from 26 minutes ago. Give me 1 second. Bring this up. Oh my God! Again, the judge is telling Rudy he will allow him to file a brief opposing defendant's motion to dismiss, and Rudy doesn't appear to fully understand what the judge is talking about. Wait the follow-up. The judge is now offering restaurant recommendations. He's basically like, this is going to be a long night, kids. Go home. Go get something to eat. If they file something tomorrow, I'll be shocked. Well, hi, Maddie. I'm glad. Welcome. This is amazing. The judge is now offering restaurant recommendations. Lawyer, dog, attorney at paw. I work pro bono. I don't know why he posted that. Jesus. This whole part, this is the amazing part. This right here. That Rudy does not seem to know what he's supposed to file. Wayne County Board of Canvassers deadlocked 2-2 on certifying election results, split along party lines. Dem member blasts Republicans for allowing politics to block certification. Yeah, this is... I don't know why this would be... Oh, somebody... I guess it's private. This is the Rudy. Wow, Rudy doesn't appear to know what strict scrutiny means. Oh, God. Meanwhile, Mark Levin went on the blaze to make this argument in a coherent, cohesive, and intelligent way. I think we can all feel a little safer that Mark Levin will lead us through these dark times. All right, wait a minute. Where is the audio from the thing? Doobity-doo. Taking the audio from the thing you do. Do you know how to do? Wait, one more page. I'm regularly overwhelming the software. I'm getting a spinning beach ball of death every couple of minutes whenever I try something. Okay, there it is. Capture system audio. Where is it? There we go. Click that. Click it. Configure. Yes, choose that. Okay. Excellent. Capture audio. Nope, it's not allowing it. I'm waiting on the audio. Can it really work? We don't know what's going on. All right, we'll roll up to Google. Should be playing this. Wait, you got to hear this whole thing. I got to make sure the audio is going out because I currently don't see it. So give me 1 second. Why would I not be hearing? Why would I? Oh, because the audio. I see. My bad. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. I now know what the software problem is. Yeah. I've got to go down here to the audio mix. I've got to throw in a stream audio. I turned it off, didn't I? Yeah. Now. I've got to turn it up like that, and I think that'll do it. There we go. It's a little quiet. I'll bring it up because I'm very loud. I'll bring me. Don't bring me down, Bruce. Don't bring me down. No. All right. Now this will be hopefully a little more normal, although I don't care. So this is their argument that how dare they bring this case? They say that we're wasting time. Yes, stalling. Yes, you're stalling. Yeah, you're trying to drag this out so you can get some faithless electors. Yes. Stalling is what I said. Yeah, and the lead is insurmountable. Oh, hold on. It has to go. There we go. Sorry. Let me transfer that over. Does that do it? Wait 1 second. Sorry.
Processes that are in place.
There you go.
No, they want to install no imbalance to the U.S. Supreme Court. Stalling?
Mm-hmm.
Stalling?
Uh-huh.
States are still counting, for God's sakes, because they...
Oh my God! They're still counting. Oh, is it an echo? Is it an echo on me? Excellent. Well, then what I'll do is I'll turn this one off. I'll mute that guy. Hold on. I'll mute this one. There we go. And then this should be a little closer to reality. There we go. Sorry, guys. All this stuff.
The Democrats wanted them to with mail-in ballots, remember?
Guys, I thought we were going to split the check.
And you have all these challenges.
What do you mean it's my turn this time?
And you have all...
It was, look, just because it's been your turn the last 14 times, blah, blah, blah.
All these processes that are in place. No, they want to install Joe. So they're effectively trying to create a de facto president with Joe Biden. He's the president. Everybody stop.
Yeah. No, they're not. I mean, I don't know who he's arguing with, by the way. He's just on his own Blaze show?
Stop the...
Does he have a Fox show? Isn't Levin on like one night a week? Isn't this the same shit? Does Fox allow them to co-run a show on Blaze?
The reviews of your process...
reviews of your process... Listen.
...processes in the states. Stop any recounts in the states. Drop all lawsuits, even the one in front of the Supreme Court. We have declared, we have proclaimed, the media, the Democrat Party, and of course Biden, that he's president. Trump might as well
No, he's the president-elect.
leave now. So we don't have two presidents at
there may be an argument there.
the same time. He's wasting space, don't you see? Now, as for the New York Times and its headline,
Yeah, but that's always true of Trump.
it would be really, really cool if the New York Times actually examined some of these lawsuits.
Why? Why is it their responsibility that you can float any bullshit you want? You can make them chase their own tail for no good reason and artificially inflate your bullshit causes when they're burning them down in court. You know what they're going to report? How the court sees them. They'll say, hey, these guys are filing this thing. It's based on this argument if you watch Rudy's thing, but there's no evidence of it, but we'll see what the judge says. And when you see what the judge says, to quote Bullet Tooth Tony in Snatch, fuck off.
Examine them with an objective and open eye, but they won't.
I'm out of sync? Why would I be out of sync? Hello? I'm barely, the video seems choppy to me anyways. I'm using Ecamm tomorrow until the other software comes back. I tried this for a couple of days. It's just kind of a pain in the ass. I gotta say, it's a bit weird. I wish it was working better, but it's not. Look how choppy that is. It's just aggravating. Let me see if I can do something. This is probably going to crash my computer, but it's worth it. It might be worth it. We'll see. We shall see what we shall see. Because this is an overwhelming taxing of my system. I have no doubt. But why not? At this point, it's a mission alert. That's right. Who can say? There it is. Open, you piece of crap. Let's see, and we'll close that. We'll close this. We'll close that. Just to give it a little bit of grease. We'll see. It might collapse, but we don't know. The whole thing might just go to hell. But we'll find out.